Well, today is Wednesday, March 29th. We're recording another CSN video. Not much happening at work. It's quiet. I just brewed some decaf coffee, checked all my emails. Quote requests, 0. Okay. Now, first thing is the weather. I've been monitoring the weather, like I mentioned before, and I thought, you know how sometimes, you look at the 14-day forecast and they say, okay, gonna be like 50F plus 10C, and then the closer they get to the actual day, the weather, they get a more accurate, reading, right? And you see the temperature changing. But I check every day, and this Friday it says it has to be sunny plus 9, which is like 49F. And so I called the storage facility, told them that I'm coming Friday to pick up the car, and I asked them, I said, do you have snow still inside the fence? Because I said, if you have snow, this car will just get stuck, even though it's warm. But if there's a snow on the ground, I cannot go over it. It just, the wheels are spinning. Ask me how I know. That's what happened when we tried to load this on a tow truck at the dealership in December. And the guy said, no, everything is cool. It should be all melted by Friday. And it's getting warmer every day. Like today, it's going to be the high of +6, which is what, like 46, 47F. And I called my insurance company. I said I want to reactivate my insurance. Whereas before they allowed me to scale it down just to kind of like storage insurance, like fire and theft. And so now I said, yeah, let's go back to liability and all this stuff. And it cost me about 210 Canadian a month. Whereas the storage insurance was $40. So it's like 5 times cheaper, right? So actually I saved a bunch of money. So the car was in storage 3.5 months, right? So I saved, what is that? 210 minus 40 times 3.5. So I saved almost $600 on insurance. And so I called my Chrysler dealer, and first I talked to the service department. I said, here's the deal. I bought a car and I paid for rust protection, but you guys didn't have time to do it when I was picking up the car, and you promised me, even though normally they said we don't do it, we don't postpone like this for 3 months, but because of the special circumstances, they said we'll honor the deal. When you're ready to take your car out of storage, let us know and we'll do it. And the lady in the service says, okay, in this case you have to talk to your salesman. So she transferred me to Steven, the guy who I bought this car from at the dealer. And I told him what I want. I said, yeah, I can drop off the car Friday, but then what I see from the forecast, only the weekend is going to be warm. Only Friday and Saturday. But Sunday, high is +3. Monday is 0, Tuesday is 0, and Wednesday is +3. So I said, I don't want to, if it's 0 or 32F, I don't want to drive it because they say it's not safe with summer tires. I said, I just want to drop it off Friday and leave it with you guys for a few days, and then you just do your magic. And I said, I need the rust protection. And second, I said, I need the PCM update that has enhanced security and fob cloning disable feature. I said, if you do have that update, I said, I want you to disable fob cloning so that nobody can make an extra key. And I said, I understand the risks. If I lose my keys, I will have to pay $1,000 for a new PCM, because there's no way to create a key once they activate that feature. And I said, I know that, just please do it, okay? And the guy said, okay. And so I think I'm looking at the temperature, like in the morning it's still going to be cold, but it's going to be +9 around 12 o'clock. And so I told him I'm going to bring the car, you know, probably around 2 p.m. when it definitely should be warm. And I met with a friend with a new friend for dinner on Monday, I think. Yeah, Monday. And this gentleman originally is from UK, and we started talking. I said, my Hellcat, you know, 0 mileage, brand new car, and he says, why don't you try selling it in UK? And you know, it's the same website, right? It's just in the States it's autotrader.com, in Canada it's autotrader.ca, and turns out in UK it's autotrader.co.uk, not com, but just co. And I go there and they ask you for that crazy zip postal code, which is even worse than what we have in Canada. Here we have 6 characters, but over there it's like, I think 7 or 8 or something like that, but all letters and numbers, you know. I found one, put it in, and I see, and this guy says they cannot buy these cars over there. But I go on Auto Trader and actually I see one of the ads says official dealer, and at the bottom they say like, here's the picture of that car. So it's 106,000 pounds, which is 130 US. 130 US. So I'm gonna send them a message and see if maybe they want to buy it, because I'm okay selling it, you know, because for now until Friday it's still brand new. But it's funny, so 130 US. So that's what, like 150, 160 Canadian. That would work for me. But I also reached out to like a lady from Florida. She works at a one of those, you know, freight forwarding companies where they deal with sea shipping. And she was asking me for a quote to move an RV between Florida and Georgia. So I found a guy who can do it. So now we're waiting. Might do that in the next few weeks. It's somebody bought RV which was damaged, like a write-off. It was damaged by flood, but she sent me pictures. It looks like brand new. You know, these are super expensive, like a big RV, like a bus, you know. And they say it starts, it's idles, but they didn't say if it drives. But they said if it doesn't drive, we'll call a wrecker for you. And it's like 12 feet 8 inches tall, 37 feet long. So I said, okay, you need a stretch trailer with, you know, with pretty low profile that can do this, right? It's not an easy load. And I said, can maybe we drive it? I can get you a driver who can drive it and then fly him back home to Florida or something. And she says, we're not sure if this thing operates, and it was flooded, so we don't think it's safe. See, that's just one of those interesting loads. And so I asked her, I remember that she works at the sea shipping company. I said, could you give me an idea, because I'm looking into, you know, maybe selling my car to, you know, overseas. I said, how much would it cost to ship a brand new car in a container to London, UK? And the biggest port here, like the nearest one to me, is Vancouver, BC, British Columbia. But then it's on the other side of the country, right? Whereas London is this way. And the other biggest port is Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And it's funny because when I asked her, I said, okay, how much would it cost from Vancouver, BC to London? She says, okay, the way it works is once the car is at Vancouver port, we load it on a rail, on a train, and then we move it to Montreal, and then it's shipped from Montreal in a container to UK. This will be 5,300 US. And I'm like, wait, so why would I ship to Vancouver if you're telling me that you need a railroad to go to Montreal? I would just find like one of those, you know, car carriers, right, or something like a private carrier, and just ship it to Montreal. So anyway, so it's possible. So basically, probably it's gonna cost like $5,000 US. but still something, you know, interesting. So I'm definitely going to message that official dealer. And by the way, what's cool is that when I look at that picture, 130,000 US, but that's, of course, that's a wide body. So mine is regular body, so it should be like maybe 5,000 US cheaper, but still, you know, let's say 125 US. That's like way more money than here or in the States. And oh yeah, and so when you click on that picture, in the description, it's basically it's a BS picture. They don't have it. It says all cars on the lot are sold. This is for orders only. Order yours and we'll get it here like in a couple of months or something. That's what they were saying. So basically they don't have these cars, you know, especially 22. I'm guessing they're becoming more and more rare. So it's an interesting situation. Okay, topic number 2 is parking wars. Parking wars. So I'm bringing my car here, right? Hopefully next week sometime. And I keep staring at this car in the corner. Like my lot, you know, there's like a curb. And there's one car. Then there's this, it's like a small German car. And then there's here, it's a full-size pickup truck, pretty big. And then it's my spot, right? And a while ago, like 2 months ago, so we had lots of snow here. And when they were cleaning the snow, you know, every time it snows, there's a maintenance crew shows up, and they have those blowers, they have bobcats, they have pickup trucks with blades, you know, like a snow plow, like fully equipped. But I don't know why, but they couldn't clean like maybe like 3 feet of space right next to the curb. Maybe because that car was there, but no, it was not there because before it was parked properly. But then after that big snowstorm, because there's so much snow there, she parked. I made a handy diagram because I went to complain to the property manager. So she parked like this. So this is the curb, and she parked like this at this angle here. Like, I'm not kidding. Like the front of the car was over the line separating her spot from the second spot. So because of her, the pickup truck guy had to park like this, and he's a very nice guy, and he says, I'm sorry, I'm trying to be as close as possible, but there's nothing I can do. So this is my spot. But then because my car is not there, this guy next to me, to my right, of course, like there's nothing here. So why would he park at an angle? So he parks straight. And so which creates a very narrow opening over here. So when I had you know, the rental car I'm bringing over, I park like this. It's difficult to back in. Okay, I back in, but then my doors, I have this much room to open the door, and of course I have to hold it with my hand because it's hitting the pickup truck. I don't want to scratch the poor guy's, you know, nice, you know, it's a Dodge Ram Rebel, which is a pretty expensive model, Rebel. A very nice looking truck, full size, 4 doors, you know, bed, you know, covered with that folding thing. But very nice guy. He says, I'm sorry. Yeah, he says, there's nothing I can do because she parked like this, you know. And that car is a junk. It's a piece of junk, missing headlight, multiple, you know, indents on the body, like rusty wheels. It's like probably 20 years old, you know, like a Volkswagen. And so I did this diagram, and I took a picture because I'm thinking, you know, I was trying to park here like a small car, like Kia, what was it, Kia Vu or something, and I had trouble getting out. And when I had the truck, when I had that Ram truck, actually, yeah, so she was parked like this since like December. And when I had that Ram truck, I had to get out through the other side, you know, because it was so hard to get through the driver's side. I had to crawl over. And I never see them. Like, where's this lady? So okay, I didn't bother them while it was because I didn't have my own car. Like only occasionally I would have a rental. But now, next week I'm gonna have my Hellcat, and it's a pretty big car, right? It's pretty wide, even though it's regular body. But how am I gonna park here? You know, it's my spot. I'm basically paying for it through the, you know, condo fees and the price of my apartment. And so okay, so I did this amazing diagram, and like the quality is like, I'm thinking I might just sell it to a museum or something, because this is just unbelievable. Like the crispness, you know, the imagery, it's just out of this world. And so I did this, and I went to the office there. We have on site property manager. I knock on the door, nobody answers. I push the door, it's open. I see inside, nobody inside, except I see a wallet, like a lady's wallet on the table. Weird, like why would you leave all your paper documents, you know, I'm not talking about money, but probably your driver's license and everything in there with an open door. So I quietly closed the door, went to wait outside, waited 5 minutes, nobody showed up. I said, okay. I usually have better luck communicating with them via email, right? And so I found the email address, sent them this, just scanned this amazing picture, drawing, and took a picture with my phone, and I said, can you do something? And to my surprise, they say, we do not police private stalls, parking stalls. I suggest the best way to do it is print a, like write a note and stick it in the window. If not, she said there's, or he said, there's a company called Calgary Parking Authority, and you can call them or email them, and they enforce parking here. So if she says, if she's preventing other people from parking as she parked like this, they can give her a ticket or they can tow her. Because I know it's a lady that owns this car, like a young lady. But she says, we cannot do anything. And I said, I'm sending her another email. I said, okay, wait, maybe you can tell me what unit she lives in, you know, her name, and I'll just go and knock on the door and talk to them. Because, you know, I don't want to ruin. It's like a very peaceful community. I never had any issues with anybody yet. No, except once I forgot. I didn't realize it was like 1 in the morning, and I had my TV super loud. You know, somebody started banging on the either the wall or the ceiling or something. And even after that, I went to investigate. I went to the guy upstairs. He says, no, it was not us. I went to the lady here. I said, did my TV bother you? She says, no. But then I know this apartment next to me was empty, so I don't know. Who did they bother? Maybe somebody from the 3rd floor? I don't know. But anyway, everything is fine in this little peaceful community, right? And so I don't want to, you know, confront somebody because it can be easily fixed. All you have to do is just clean up the snow, move your car, right? But the property manager says, no, it's private information. We cannot release the unit number or the name of the person. Like, what the? So okay, so I do this. I print this, you know, because of course I have a computer. You know, I'm an office worker. Attention, owner of parking stall number so and so, because each stall is numbered. Please move your car. The way your vehicle is parked, it makes other people park at an angle. Angle is in caps. Paragraph number 2. If no action is taken before Friday, March 31st, your car will be reported to Calgary Parking Authority, which may ticket, in caps, or tow, in caps, your car. Thank you for your cooperation. Community name, residence. Like, you know, I put like, let's say, I don't know, Gulf Beach. Like, let's say you live in a Gulf Beach village, and I said Gulf Beach residence. So basically, name of our community, residence. I didn't want to put my name. And so I'm putting my boots on. So I printed 2 of these. So I'm thinking, you know, if you cannot see this, you're blind. You're legally blind. So I'm gonna put 1 on each side on the front side doors, windows, and use a bright blue tape. And I don't care because it's just, you know, very selfish. And so I go there, and I look through the window, and I see some girl is coming out with a spade, with a shovel. And I say, hey, I was just about to leave a note in your car. And she says, yeah, I know, somebody from the office came over and asked me to move the car. Jesus, that's like the easiest solution, right? The property manager never mentioned this possibility that she can just politely ask him, you know, and of course that because she could not release the name to me, so yeah, talk to her, right? And so this poor girl starts shoveling snow. I said, okay, I'll help you push the car because she's stuck in snow. So I was pushing her, nothing works. Took us like probably 20 minutes to dig it out from the snow. And then I pushed her out, and then she parked the car, and I said, okay, I'll clean the snow for you because it was pretty hard, you know, like icy snow. And I used her shovel. I cleaned up that space near the curb, which was preventing her from parking properly. And then she backed in, and then the pickup truck guy saw that. He parked his truck properly, so now my property is properly open. Everything is straight, beautiful. We are ready for the Hellcat. Okay, and I had a couple of pictures here. What else did I have? Now it's the weather, the Hellcat. Okay, and the next thing is online scams. So I'm trying to sell this accordion, right? And I found dedicated, and not because, you know, originally I thought that's it, you know, I'm talentless, it takes me forever to learn something and I'm just gonna get rid of it. But then I thought, man, I've been studying this for like 2 years, you know, first with that green garmoshka, then this expensive, that black one from Tula, Russia, right? And now I have this one. And I really enjoy it when it works, you know, when you finally get the hang of all the notes and stuff. And so, and then I was practicing again, and this time maybe, you know, I slept much better, and so I was in a, you know, my concentration was better, and actually the piece was working, and it sounds amazing. So no, I don't want to quit. So, but I decided I want to switch from this one to something like this, which is an electronic or digital accordion. So, and it's not the button, it's piano. So I would just have to relearn to play the piano keys instead of buttons on the right, and on the left it's different note layout, whereas my accordion it's vertical. It's like I think I had another amazing diagram somewhere. But anyway, in my accordion, the way the notes are positioned on the bass are different than on the big accordion with piano keys. Well, this one is not big actually. That's another beauty, is that it's the same size as mine, but it's lighter because it doesn't have any reeds. Like, unless you hook up it to the power outlet or you put in batteries, it's not gonna work. But that one, it's like a mini orchestra. You know, you can flip a switch, and that baby, you can make it sound like 100% piano, violin. You can add drums accompaniment, you know, like different rhythm. You can play it as a guitar, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, saxophone, you know. It's like amazing. Like, you can turn that into really like a 2-3 man band. I'm not kidding. And that one is actually that brand new. I found a dealer in BC. Brand new, it's probably what, like 50%? No, like 25% cheaper than mine. And so that's why I want to sell this, and I'll still have a couple of grand left to help me with my cash flow here, and I can get that one. And so I found a couple of sites, like a dedicated website dedicated to musical instruments. And so I registered there. Everything is cool. Added a bunch of pictures, you know, quality stuff, pictures. And then somebody finally messages me. And the way it works, you're supposed to message through that website. They say, do not use your cell phone because that's maybe a scam, you know, basically. You receive a message on that website and you respond by that website, and then the payment is made again. She's not paying, or he is not paying me, they're paying the website, and then the website charges, you know, some fees, and then they tell me when to ship, let's say, or somebody's coming to pick it up, right? But they recommend doing everything inside that website for safety reasons, right? And so I do receive a message, and it says, please text me at this number, and I check the area code, it's California. And it's, text me at this number, I'm interested, I just want to ask you a few questions. And I try to message her back, and it says, this user cannot accept messages. Like, what kind of user? Like, she's messaging me, but I cannot reply. So, okay, so I call her from my desk phone. Nobody's picking up the phone. And right away I'm thinking something is off here, you know. And so finally a voicemail greeting comes on. So I leave her a message. Nothing. And then, okay, fine. So I text that number from my cell phone. And right away we start chatting. So like, why didn't answer before, right? So something is off, and she asks me questions like, are you the first owner? Like, you know, legitimate questions. Can you ship? I say, yeah, I can ship to California. I said, that's what I put in the ad, like free of charge, which of course, you know, it's pretty heavy, like as far as parcels go. So it would cost me definitely more than $50. I was thinking probably 100, 150, you know, to ship to California, because from here, I think it's, I checked on the map, it's 1,600 miles from Alberta to California, like Los Angeles. And then she disappears, and it's a lady. She puts her name in there, Eva. Like, what kind of name is Eva? Not Eve, but Eva, E-V-A, Eva. And she puts her last name. Basically sounds like a BS name, I don't know. And then she disappears for a few minutes, and then her next message is, what's going on? I try to pay you, but it says your account cannot accept payments. I'm talking to customer. I'm gonna call customer service. Then I'm like, okay, let me see what I can do. You know, I'm typing her back. And as soon as she sent me that message, my email beeps, and I see there's a message on my email that's registered with this website as a user, right? And it's the same website logo, and the signature is like that logo, you know, customer service, some name there. But I start reading, and first off, the message they're sending is a bit crazy, but then also, and like they're asking me to buy a prepaid Visa card because I'm a first-time seller, and I should load $200 to $500 on it. And I kid you not, they're asking me to come back and then take a picture of the front of the Visa card and the rear of the Visa card and send it to them. Like, you know, these are really stupid criminals, you know, like. But then, even of course that's, and actually I texted that Eva back. I said, well, I just got a message from this website, and it sounds like a scam, you know. I said, I don't know, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm going to contact customer service on my own end as well. But what gave it away was that when you read the message, it doesn't sound like a real message, because there's mistakes, you know, like spelling mistakes, and then instead of a cap case that's a regular capital case, there's a regular case, you know. It looks like somebody is writing this somewhere in Ethiopia or something, you know, and they learn English somewhere, but it doesn't seem proper, you know, the way it's written and the way they phrase words. So I see it's BS, you know. And so then I'm chatting with the website customer support, and of course, yeah, and the biggest giveaway is that the sender, like normally it should be like, let's say help@websitename.com, but that message was sent from website name @nala.com, you know, website name and then nul.com. And so that's what I put in, and I did a screenshot of this when I was chatting with the guy. I showed him, and he said, website name nul.com is not us. He says, we are support or help@websitename.com, you know, like that website, right? And of course, that's how so basically they wanted to steal $500 or $200. So very cheap criminals. But so I blocked that lady, and I asked the support, I said, so why I wasn't able to message her? And the guy says, well, it's because our system is very good at catching, you know, bad guys. And as soon as we saw that, I'm guessing because she put in the cell phone number in, because they saw that she was trying to take this outside of the website. Their software recognized this and they block her messaging capabilities, you know. And so I blocked her on my end. I said that's it. So, but other than that, it seems like a legitimate website with lots of offers. And best yet is that unlike Facebook Marketplace or, you know, here like Kijiji in Canada, online advertising, the prices are pretty good because these are for professionals, you know. So my expensive accordion the price does not seem too crazy, whereas on Kijiji and Facebook it just seems like, you know, 10-50 times more than what people are selling for. And as I'm selling this, I got a message from some lady here in Calgary, because first I put that accordion without a price, and she's asking me, how much is your instrument? I'm helping a Ukrainian family that just moved here from Ukraine, and both parents were heads of a music department at a university, but they had to leave suddenly, so they had to leave all their instruments behind, and so now I just want to buy them some, you know, cheap accordion. And I said, well, I'm sorry, but I said, this is a very expensive instrument. I don't think you want to pay this much money. And so I gave her some tips. I gave her the name of the store that I found that sells quality used instruments, and they check them, make sure they all work right. Because the thing is, here, yeah, like I look at Facebook Marketplace, as long as you type accordion, as soon as you type accordion, there's like, I don't know, dozens of ads, and most of them are somewhere around $300 range, Canadian, $300, which is what, 200 US. But they all look very old, and what's funny is that the ads never mention what year are these instruments, except one, this one, says 80 years old. And so originally the guy put it up for $1,000. Then he changed the price, because you can still see the old price. They just cross it out, and the new price is 300. So the guy went from 1,000 Canadian to 300 Canadian, and he says, I really need the money to pay the rent. It was my grandfather's accordion, but it's 80 years old. It's like from 30s and 40s, and that's 30s, 40s, and then I think 50s, 60s. That's when US and Canada were flooded by all these Italian accordions from Europe, right? That's when they were popular. And so many people kept them in their attics or in their garages, never played them, right? And the accordion has to be played, you know? So if you don't play it, if it sits in the box, everything dries up inside. It has to, you know, when you pull and push those bellows, the air goes in and the air goes out, right? And so if there's no air moving, things get stale, and basically it's bad for an instrument to sit like that. So like this one, 80 years old. If nobody played it in the past 30-40 years, it's garbage. Okay, so if somebody wants to buy a cheap accordion, I highly caution you, don't buy something that's been never played, that hasn't been played for a long time. Because then, you can buy something for $100, and then you have to spend $1,000 to fix it, you know, like to replace the insides. Because accordions are very complicated instruments, actually. There's a bunch of parts inside that can go wrong. And that's another reason why I want to switch to this V accordion, electronic accordion, because it doesn't have reeds. It just has electronics inside, like contacts. You know, when you push the button, contacts open up or close, and there's a sound card. So there's much less stuff that can go wrong. You know, there's much less wood, mostly just metal contacts and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure that thing will last forever. You know, and so yeah, this Ukrainian family, it's interesting, right? So I was happy to help them. So like I said, it's too bad I don't have a cheap instrument. I would donate it, you know, gladly. I said I support them 100% because I grew up in Ukraine, even though I'm Russian. But I gave her the phone number and name of this nice accordion store I found in BC. very nice guy that owns it, and they check all instruments they sell. And I said, also we have a accordion association here in Calgary, and they have a newsletter, so maybe they can let you put some kind of a message in there, just looking for a cheap accordion for Ukrainian refugees, Ukrainian family, you know. So I was happy to help. Yeah, and then, like I mentioned, I had a dinner with a new friend who's a trucker, and he was doing. I asked him to. I said, "I'll pay for dinner. You just tell me how you work with equipment, because he's trucking, but he's also buying and selling equipment and machinery, and I'm really interested in that." And so we spent like 3 hours talking. Very nice guy, and had a couple of beers. I think that the final bill was like $92 Canadian. I said, it's okay, I'll pay, because you gave me a lot of things to think about. So I learned a lot about this, you know, equipment trading business, so which was pretty cool. And he wants to buy my drone, and I forgot to bring the drone to the dinner. I said, shoot. So now we agreed that we're gonna meet again sometime for lunch, and I'll bring the drone. And I'm guessing that's it. So yeah, so Hellcat, parking wars, online scams, Ukrainian refugees, dinner with a friend, and music. So yeah, as soon as I sell this one, I keep practicing every day. So now I'm working on this Barenya. You see the way I do it, I put down the most important thing in Russian. It's called applicatura, right? Like which finger you press that with, and of course the notes. Put them, and actually once I started doing this using a printed sheet of music, I really started learning, you know, the notes, the music, you know. Whereas before I was just writing in words like do, re, mi, fa, but now I just use the notes and I just write the name on top of it, and this allows me to learn. So I did learn a lot, so it would be really bad to, you know, quit and forget it, because I know that 2-3 months down the road I would feel sad, you know, because this is my third accordion. I really wanna stay in the game, but I really wanna switch to an electronic instrument. And what's funny is that a cheaper way is two cheaper options compared to, basically this one is this Roland FR1X. It's 4,000 Canadian. But I talked to the guy who sold me this accordion, a dealer in Ontario, and he's also a dealer for Music Tech. Music Tech makes these sound modules, right? Like the whole thing that turns your accordion into an electronic version. And ask him how much is that. Like, talk to a guy in Florida, he wants $2,500 US for the music module plus install, and then of course I'd have to send him an instrument. And I asked this guy in Ontario, I said, here's the quote I got from Florida. How much do you charge? He says, all in 2,200 Canadian, which is like, I don't know, 3 times cheaper, right? Well, not 3 times, but still way cheaper. And I was thinking, if he wants 2,200 Canadian, I could probably buy a used accordion for less than $1,000 from the store in BC I found, because they guarantee a quality instrument. And then I can bring or send that accordion to my guy in Ontario, and he can install that MIDI system, as they call, and that's gonna be like $3,000 versus $4,000 for the Roland. The only problem is that I would be without an instrument if I sell this, but because you have to ship, I have to drive over there, so I don't know. And then option 2, which is not working very well now because of this of the war in Ukraine. There's a bunch of guys in Russia that do this. They buy Russian accordions directly from the factory, and they have this original Russian MIDI system, specifically designed for these button Russian folk style accordions. And I calculated the price of the accordion and the MIDI system, and without shipping and converting into Canadian, it's $3,000. So $1,000 cheaper than Roland, and it's the same style of an accordion like what I have now, so I don't have to relearn. It's the same button, same layout. It's a Russian folk accordion style. The problem is Russia is under sanctions, so they cannot ship everything, and their postal system sucks, so you have to fly over there to pick it up. And then how do you send them the money? I asked the guy, I said, so how do I send you the money if I decide to do this? Since you cannot send money to Russia anymore from Canada because of the sanctions. And he says, oh, I can give you a Georgia bank card. So you see what these guys are doing in Russia. They found a way to bypass all these sanctions. Like this guy, he's in Rostov-Don, which is south part of Russia. Actually not too far from Mariupol, because that's Ukraine, but Rostov, it's Russia. But nearby is Georgia, like independent country. So what these guys are doing, they're going to Georgia and they're opening a bank account in Georgia, and they're getting a bank card. And so this way, when you send money, it goes to Georgia, not Russia, an independent country. And that's how, so Russians are very smart. So, and that's why these sanctions don't work very well, you know. But anyway, that's just like a nightmare, you know, getting that instrument from there. And also it takes like 3 months because they have to get that accordion from the factory. Then it takes them 2 months to install that system. It just, you can save $1,000, but I have to fly there. That's probably $1,000 a round way trip. So I don't know. So I would say option one is using my dealer in Ontario and get used accordion. He can install the system, or just not worry about this surplus and just get a brand new Roland FR1X. So those are my news. So today's Wednesday, so 2 days to D-Day, picking up my Hellcat. That's gonna be my sorry, it's gonna be my next video, because the main topic I'm thinking about now is the car was in storage since December 14th. So January, February, March. So it's going to be 3.5 months. And I didn't have time to disconnect the battery because everything was go, 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 go. I put it on blocks. I put that steel wool in the exhaust pipes. And I left a bunch of those anti-mouse pieces inside the car, so probably it's gonna smell awful. But other than that, and I filled up the tank with zero ethanol fuel, like high quality, I think 93 gas, so that it doesn't degrade over, during storage. But other than that, I didn't do anything else. I just locked the car with keys electronically, but I didn't disconnect the battery. So the next video will be called Hellcat. Will it start after 3.5 months in storage? Thanks for watching. Ciao.